Celebrating Mother's Day away from home during a pandemic. It's that time of year when we celebrate mothers, and this year a mother of one, Sade's first being inducted into the Mummy Hall of Fame. That happiness and excitement are tinged with hints of trepidation and sadness. Why? Because her very first Mother's Day will be celebrated away from her home country, family and friends. Sade moved from Trinidad to Tortola, British Virgin Islands with her husband and daughter on January 31st. She said the transition has been anything but easy. We moved because there was a better opportunity for our family. We were searching for a church that would accommodate our abilities. My husband was offered a job and I'm presently volunteering on staff. There were a few things we didn't expect, but all in all the spirit of gratefulness is prevalent. It's been 3 months, but Sade is still struggling to overcome the culture shock and get used to life away from her village. From the accents to the lack of curry and starch mango, which is a necessity for me. I'm going through a serious withdrawal. It was definitely not an easy transition. We got here and jumped straight into work. I miss my family, the laughter, the loudness. Honestly, I miss the overall feeling of comfort that home gives you. For Sade and her husband, life in Tortola is a far cry from what they've grown accustomed to, but through it all, they have each other. With their support system hundreds of miles away, they're on their own. New parents, learning to navigate a new country without the support of family and friends, during a pandemic. This thing hard. If it had not been for the Lord on my side, lol. Seriously, our first 3 months, after the baby was born, were in Trinidad, so we had a full house of help from my mother to my aunt to my grandparents. From there we went to Antigua for 2 months, which is where my husband is from, so we had his parents and his sister. We have absolutely no family here in Tortola, so leaving was super difficult. There have been days where I've had a good cry because my husband is busy a lot and it's just us at the moment, so it's not like we can have breaks. I'm very picky about who I give my daughter to, and I still have my moments of separation anxiety, so living in a new territory where no one is familiar, we miss the help. I also feel heartbroken at times because our village can't see her grow before their eyes, but our call is a demanding one, so we just try to stay in touch as often as we can. Thank God for technology, she said. From not knowing who to call for basic necessities, not knowing where we can and can't go, having to rely on local news to be updated. It has been an unexpected challenge that we were unprepared for. There's also the slight fear that creeps in when we finally had the chance to step out, or even in the instances where we had to have groceries delivered to our home. But we've managed to make it through almost a month on 24-hour lockdown. Despite the challenges, which are compounded by her loneliness, isolation and yearning to be surrounded by friends and family, Sade remains grateful for life and health. Things aren't necessarily shaping up the way she anticipated, but Sade is determined to make the best of the situation. She said come what may, she knows her first Mother's Day will be special. My husband has plans, and since the time we can spend outside is being extended and he's a creative one, I really don't expect to have a boring day. The difference is that at home, I lived in a house where the only 2 men were my grandfather and husband. My mom, grandmother and aunt are also mothers, and knowing them as well as I do, I know they would have found a way to join my husband in making my first special. Probably take Kennedy for most of the day if they could, which would have me time to sleep. Happy Mother's Day, Sade. And to all the mother around the world.